Welcome to the Empower Engine Power Maps creation tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll go over the steps required to make a map on Empower Engine's Map Wizard. Our platform was founded on the basic premise that a map is easier to understand than a spreadsheet. Let's say that you're an organizer preparing a voter registration drive targeting Latinx voters in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You could download a spreadsheet from the Census Bureau and sift through it, drawing whatever possible conclusions you can. Or you could make a map on Empower Engine in less than a minute. Let's see how. Welcome to the Empower Engine dashboard. This is the screen that a user will see once you've logged in. To start the map making process, select the Make a Map drop-down on the left side navigation and select Power Maps. On the next screen, you'll start with a map that shows the area in which you have access. Since this is a Wisconsin-specific account, we'll start with a map of the state. If you have a nationwide account, you would start with the map of the US. To select your district, you can simply start typing it in this field. We'll type Milwaukee. In other cases, when you're making a map of a specific legislative district, you can help narrow your selection by using this Narrow by Type drop-down. Once you make your selection, you'll see an outline of your district appear. On the next screen, you'll select your data set and the column that you wish to map. As you can see on the screen, the user can see how many data sets you have access to, and we've selected a random sample of 10 data sets. If you don't see your data set included in the sample, you can use the filters we've provided to help you find what you're looking for. For example, you can filter by topic, such as demographic or electoral. You can filter based on the level of detail, which will filter down the data sets that include data at your chosen level of detail. For example, you can select 2016 precincts, and it will show you only the data sets that contain data that come at the precinct level. You can also filter by committee, choosing between data sets that contain public data or proprietary data belonging to your committee. We've also included a search bar where you can simply type a search term. The search bar does string matching on the name of the data sets or the columns. This will likely be the filter that you use most frequently. But in this case, let's begin by using the drop-down filters. For something like Latinx population, in the topic drop-down, we'd select demographic. Under the committee drop-down, you could select public data. For our map, we'll select the data set of the Latinx ethnicity from the 2010 census. Now we'll select the data column. In this case, we're looking for total Latinx population. Once you've made this selection, you can actually finish your map, and the rest of the selections will reflect our default settings. Here's a map based on the default settings. You can see that there are some population concentrations at the census block group level. But for the purposes of this tutorial, let's assume you also need a map of the Spanish-speaking population, so you can allocate your Spanish-speaking volunteers most effectively. Once again, we'll select Milwaukee on the first step. This time, when we select our data set, let's use the string matching search bar and type Spanish. Now hit enter. You'll see the data set from the 2018 American Community Survey, or ACS, and we'll select total Spanish speakers as our column. This time, let's proceed through the map making process. On the next screen, we'll select a level of detail. As you can see from the picture, the map has defaulted once again to census block group, but you can select whatever level of detail that you wish. Your options are limited to the level of detail in which the data is available. For our purposes, let's see what happens if we select Census Tract. As you can see, our map has updated, now showing the census tract lines. But since this map is for comparison purposes, let's switch back to census block group. On the next screen, we can add a name or a description to our map. A default name has been assigned based on your dataset and column selections, but you have the freedom to change it. You can also add a description of this map, which is particularly useful if you're planning on sharing a map with teammates. So let's add a short description. For our tutorial, we'll describe this map as a map of Spanish speakers by census block to help guide volunteer allocation. When it comes to naming your map, we recommend that you use the default as your guide and name your map after the data point you're mapping, not the geography. When you get into the map distribution system, you'll see why that's important. On the next and final step, you can change the colors of your map, or how the data is sequenced. Let's say you were mapping win margins from election results. You might want to use a diverging color scale like red to blue. We've included best practices to help you find the right options. For a deeper dive into selecting the appropriate coloring and binning method, please see the Power Map modification video on our YouTube channel. The colors that are selected by default are the same ones of the Latinx map we already made. To make them more distinct, let's color this one shades of purple or orange. So let's create this map. And there you have it. In just a few seconds, you've created these two maps of Milwaukee. Looking at these two maps, we can see where we should allocate our resources to register the Latinx community and where to send the limited Spanish-speaking volunteers. Be sure to check out our other videos on our channel, such as the Power Maps 101 tutorial and the Power Maps modification tutorial, to learn more about what you can do with your maps. With Empower Engine, you can make the most of your data to make every resource go further. If you have any questions about the map creation process, please reach out to us at support@empowerengine.com. Thank you.